All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to on Mondays and Wednesdays. I feel like that schedule is going to work out a lot better for me in the near-term future, and hopefully it works out better for you guys too, since you know, Mondays tend to be the very first trading day. Well, these lives will be post the first trading day of any given week. But yeah, so it's going to be the same time. Well, it's a little bit later. It'll be 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So apologies to any folks in the Eastern time zone if it gets a little bit late. But it's only 30 minutes later than the original time, which was 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you guys are able to make it. But any folks in the Central time zone, well, you guys should be fine. But obviously anyone who's in the Pacific Standard time zone, you guys are obviously doing okay. All right, so yeah, welcome guys. We're gonna be talking about specifically BABA here, and obviously the tickers from this week's CFO Swinger Watch Report. So if anyone who is watching this stream now who is not part of the report, or you guys are watching the replay here, if you guys are interested in joining and becoming a reader of the report, make sure you guys check in the description box down below. All right, because, well, that is where the link will be given to you guys to potentially subscribe, and obviously you guys can get more information using that link as well. All right. Okay. Well, hey, thank you guys for the likes. Make sure you guys are obviously hitting the like button, and if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. Especially if you guys find any of my information tonight helpful, or most importantly, applicable. All right, and let me make sure that I can hear myself correctly here on the video, and all the microphone is working. All right, I think we're good. Okay. All right, so first of all, I want to start off with BABA, since it is the main topic and obviously in the title of this stream. So I want to go over BABA because, first of all, it was in the list for this week's CFO Swinger Watch Report. And what a start to Alibaba, right? We've had some very large tech, large cap tech stocks in China having a massive gap up at open today, and one of them was Alibaba, and the other one was Baidu as well, because we've been looking at Alibaba and Baidu together side to side. And so obviously the strength in Chinese names are clearly showing here, and that's exactly what I noted last week, and the reason why I've also put it in this week's list as well. So here's what I said specifically yesterday in the report. I said a clear trend change has occurred to this major Chinese tech name, with the weekly showing a good breakout 2 weeks ago, okay, and then a great retest and pivot last week. The price is ready to continue its newfound uptrend, and that pivot at 130, which is again last week, has to hold this week if we are to see any type of bullish momentum to hold. As long as that holds, the price has a magnet resistance level to reach at 145.50, and boy are we closer to that resistance level. So this 145.50 level is critical to any type of a longer term uptrend, okay? Because if you see here, right, if I even go on the monthly time frame, right, there's a huge critical level at 145.50, and there's a huge area of supply above this resistance level. And so if we are able to clear 145.50, okay, if we're able to clear over 145.50, then there's a good chance that we will completely absorb all the supply that is up here, right? So we have a bunch of supply all the way up here. You guys can see this, right? This is where we saw a majority of selling volume coming in as well, right? But we have been slowly basing out, and we've been slowly absorbing all the supply that was down here. So if we're able to continue this momentum higher and relative strength higher, and obviously if Chinese markets hold up without any type of regulatory news from the Chinese government, from the CCP, there's a good chance that we can see some very good supply being absorbed here from 145.50 and higher. And so if you go over 145.50, we should be going over 164.50 and eventually to 192. And then ultimately, my maximum target, if we were to continue to go up higher for the mid to longer term, okay, I want to see it back to 200. I really want to see it back to 200, and that's the reason why I've suggested that in the title screen of this stream, right? I said Sleeping Dragon, Alibaba to 200, right? Because there's a possibility, right? It's a question that I'm asking because it's based on how it's been moving for the last few months. Well, this entire year actually. There is a probable chance that that we are able to go past this 145.50 resistance level, which again, just to remind you guys, we retested it in February and March of this year. All right, and if you're getting this third retest, maybe this week, depending on how we've been, even just based on how we reacted to this gap up, which we've held until close, we might just get that 145.50 retest by the end of this week. Okay, so keep your eye on this level. It's a very, 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 very important level. It's a multi-year level. And if you're able to break over 145, there's a good chance that we are going to get to 164.50. We're just going to drift higher, even if we tend to see some very massive gap ups and gap downs. So really just day-to-day volatility and intraday volatility as well. I mean, we saw that last week, right? Just last week, right? Wednesday to Thursday, where we saw a pretty good amount of people getting stopped out here because they thought there's going to be a new downtrend, right? So, obviously that has completely been changed in 2 trading days worth of price action. So there's a lot of intraday and day-to-day volatility. So be ready for that, okay? But Alibaba, the change is coming here, and I think most people are starting to really just trying to forget the regulatory trend and just that crackdown, the overall regulatory crackdown that we saw from the CCP with its own private sector. I think people are trying to just forget that era now and trying to leave it behind, which is why we're starting to see a lot more inflow into Chinese equities from retail as well. And I think that's important, right? I mean, retail has gotten a lot of star power in the last 5 years. So, I think we can definitely see Baba trying to get back to this $200 level here. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Okay, I see some reactions there in the chat room. Okay. So, hey, thank you guys for the likes as well too. What's up, guys? I see more people coming in. Hello. So I just finished talking about Baba, so make sure you guys watch the replay if you guys want to know what I want to see on Baba. Right? And so with that being said, let's go over the other tickers in the MM list. And again, if you guys don't know what that is, it's the Momentum Mentions list. It's a part of a section of the overall CFO Swinger Watch Report, which is, again, it's a report that comes out every single week for my readers. Okay? It's a top-down research report that gives a complete and extensive look into the market ahead. Okay, the markets ahead, and just gives out overall macro and micro news of the markets, right? And obviously, depending on what I want to talk about as well, that's relevant to the markets, obviously. Short to longer term perspectives. and I give out some very good A+ trade ideas and especially swing trade ideas, because again, what is it called, guys? The CFO Swinger Watch Report, right? But again, you guys don't have to use it just for swing trades, right? You guys can use it for day trades if you guys want. And these ideas are very, very good, where you can change it to day trades, right? And you said yes, sir. Yes, exactly, right? So if you guys want to join, again, you guys can just simply check out the second link in the description box below. You guys can get more information there, or if you guys have any questions, please DM me on Instagram at chartsfocus1. All right. Okay. So the next ticker I want to look at is TEM. So I've been looking at this ticker for, for at least maybe 3.5 weeks, so almost a month now, right? Because I think it's just such a textbook looking IPO here, right? I've been talking about it so much that I don't think I need to go over it too extensively at this point in this live stream, just to save some time for my other tickers I want to talk about tonight. So again, on the weekly perspective, we're making this very, very textbook bull flag here, and we're really just consolidating quite well right at this neckline $79 resistance level, right? There's a huge weekly resistance level, so very higher time frame resistance level, where the price is just holding really well, and today we're able to bust through that $79 level by having a nice gap up and a nice push up higher in the early morning, but we ended up pushing a little bit lower, as it seems like the bulls aren't really convinced yet to stay above $80. But however, right, I did want to see an ideal close today above $80. That's what I told my readers and members of the private CFO Discord chat room. And again, as a reminder, if you guys want to be a part of the private CFO Discord chat room, all you need to do is become a member of the CFO Swinger Watch Report. Okay, and you guys will become automatic members of the private CFO Discord, and you can complete full access to the private Discord chat room. Okay, so it's in addition to becoming a reader of the report. Okay, so Tempest AI, I believe I can see some sort of the news coming out for this name as well. Maybe there's some big news, just like we saw with NVIS today with its huge deal. It's billion-dollar, tens of billions worth of a contract deal with Microsoft, right? NVIS, ticker symbol NVIS, and so maybe TM could also have some sort of a news like that, where it just is able to capture contracts, right, from big companies, right? And I believe Tempest AI specifically works with healthcare providers, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so there has been some insider sells, which I don't really like to see. But again, I think this company in the longer term is very, very, very well positioned based on what I've seen so far, what they're doing in the company, and what their growth goals are as far as a tech company, obviously, right? As a tech, specifically AI focused tech company. So I really, really think you guys should keep your eye on this one. I'm currently in it, which is why I'm so bullishly biased, obviously. Right? It's my own swing trade idea that I want to be a part of, right? So TM, very, very good stock. It looks really good. So that's the entire summary. Okay, all right. Okay, so, and last but not least, okay, all that being said, let's take a look at Reddit. So this is the last ticker in the MM list, and I think this one has a lot of potential. However, unfortunately, today ended up gapping up over my entry point, which is the reason why I decided to not get in. Because again, that's kind of one of those simple golden rules, right? If a stock decides to gap up over my entry point, I can't get in, because we have days like this, right? More often than not, actually. We have days where the price decides to just move straight down after gapping up over my entry point. And boy, am I glad did I not get in at 241, maybe at a retest. So maybe somewhere in the early morning, right? So let me even show you guys on the 15-minute time frame, okay? Right? So we gap up, okay? And we ended up going over to 244, right? However, right, as we move down to 244, to 243, 242, on just this single 15-minute candlestick alone, we came back down to retest 240, right? Exactly at 240 actually. See, the low of this candlestick on this 15-minute time frame was 240.00. And I did not get back in on a retest of 241, right? Where we pivoted right at 240 and we came back up to 241 and I did not get back in. Now, why did I not do that? Because I've been burned multiple times in the past. I've seen this happen multiple times to me. I've experienced this way too many times, right? Where it seems like, oh, okay, so I got a good entry point, and then it continues to move up higher for the next, last 10 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on when I got it. And then in the next candlestick, we continue to go up higher, but guess what happens? We push lower as we revisit the opening price, and then we continue to come back down, right? And then for the rest of the day, it just continues to move lower and lower and lower, right? And so what ended up happening was that we created a bearish engulfing candlestick, which makes me think that we can possibly be seeing a massive bull flag forming here at the highs here, okay? So just based on today's action, right, we may be seeing some sort of a large flag that will take maybe 2.5 to 3 weeks to form here. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so my analysis, my technical analysis on Reddit has slightly changed after today's price action here. And I have to make this change, right? Because again, if we start to basically do this, right, there's a good chance that we can actually still try to consolidate at these highs, but we're just gonna have to wait at least 2.5 to 3 weeks for this entire bull flag to figure itself out, and eventually we can finally get a nice breakage to the upside once we get at least 3 to 4 retests on this descending resistance trendline, which again makes up this potential bull flag that is forming. And again, this is just an ideal perspective that I have for Reddit. Maybe it doesn't do this, maybe it just goes back down, maybe this is the start of a new downtrend, maybe this is a double top today, right? This is the first pivot high point, and today was the second pivot high point, who knows, right? But this is what I would like to see on an ideal perspective, since we are still in a very post-earnings drift up higher uptrend. Okay? Does that make sense? Hey, what's up, guys? Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Welcome, welcome. And if you guys are always wondering why I say that, well, it really helps out the algorithm. And guess what, guys? We're almost at 600 subscribers on this channel. We're at 582. It's crazy to think that we're not. It wasn't too long ago, actually. It was this year where we hit 500. So it was, I think, in summer of this year, when summer just began, so a couple months ago. So pretty nice to see. All right, so we're almost at 600 subscribers on this channel. Amazing, amazing. Okay, and last but not least, I want to take a look at DDOG. So this is the official swing trade idea for this week's CFO Swinger Watch Report. So I have revisited this week because this has been one of my top tech growth stocks that I've been looking at for a long time now. Okay, I've been looking at this since last year. All right, do you guys see right here? All right, this is a swing trade idea that I gave out to everyone in September of last year. And we are part of this massive move up higher, by the way. And guess what? We're also getting involved on it again, using options here, right at the same time, around September, which is pretty amazing to see, actually. Right, so obviously we've had equity here for a while now, but now we're going to use options again to leverage our long-term position on DDOG and try to see if we can have a nice breakout from this very nice momentum flag here. Well, obviously It's a very volatile flag. I mean, these weekly candlesticks have large ranges, so it's really nice to see some very tight price action starting to come in for the last couple of weeks, for the last 4 weeks so far. You know, I really hope that this continues, and maybe we can start a nice, maybe a little peak higher to above 140. And that's kind of the official breakout entry point for DDOG for any options positions that you guys might want to be looking at for this ticker, or if you guys want to start an equity position. If you guys aren't involved, you might want to start an equity position on this name. Well, you guys can get it over 140 if you guys want to as well. Okay, but so far we've been holding this 135 level very, very well. And I want to see this name continue to hold over 135 this week. If not, there's still a good chance this can continue to consolidate for a little while, maybe for this entire week, and then possibly next week, depending on how it closes. This week, we can see a nice move back up over 135 and, you know, a breakage over 140, and eventually out of this nice weekly but very, very, very volatile bull flag. Okay. All right. So I want to finish off with taking a look at BABA again, and obviously I want to give you guys some other Chinese tickers that I want you guys to focus on, and the other one is KC. So this is a Chinese cloud company, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a company, cloud company in China that's that we've been looking at since I think mid-August here. Yeah, so I think post earnings as well is when we began to look at this, or I think before earnings, just right before earnings. Either way, it doesn't matter. KC has been making a very nice, massive bull flag here. And there's a lot of room to the upside, and obviously this was an IPO back in 2020, so it's been 5 years so far already, and this one has been trying to eventually get over the $16 resistance level that's been forming since well, all even back in 2021, late 2021, we see this $16 level acting as a level of resistance during this entire downtrend move. So this is when we saw all that regulatory crackdown from the CCP on their entire private sector, and so we saw small companies like this being absolutely devastated for like, you know, 2.5 to 3 years. And so with 2025 nearly at its end here, and we're possibly be seeing you know, Chinese investors, you know, these domestic investors trying to look past that all and you know, focus on a brighter future in 2026. And so maybe we can start to see some bigger Chinese tech companies trying to acquire these smaller cloud companies. But who knows? The regulatory crackdown has been such a huge hit to the overall private sector, so I don't even know if these big tech companies want to even go through the regulatory process of even trying to buy out a smaller company to diversify their businesses, you know, expand their revenue streams, etc. Right? So, you know, I think this company alone has a lot of potential here, just from a technical perspective as well. So, you know, as long as we can continue to build out this beautiful, nearly a year-long bull flag, I think we can have a nice breakout this week on KC. Okay, and the next one that we have is VIPS. So this one came back to my radar here. So I took a look at this a long time ago, actually. I think it was back in 2017. I think no, I think it was 2019. Yeah, 2019 on this huge, massive level here. Yeah, so it was from 2018 to 2019 where I was scouting this $18 resistance level here. Okay, so right here, bam. Right, so massive level, and eventually in 2020, during the entire COVID debacle here, we saw this name being absolutely strong, right? It barely saw a move down during the entire time where U.S. equity markets and, well, truly, the global markets were crashing here from February to March, right? So this thing did the exact opposite, right? And just continued to climb and climb and climb for all of 2020 and all of 2021, right? And eventually it came right back down, and it's right back to this massive $18 resistance level. So, I mean, this is a huge level here, right? So now it's been making a massive multi-year base since 2023, where we tested this $18 level for the first time since it broke below it in 2021, right? So huge base. I would say solid support area will be $13 here. So again, a very nice 5-point range here, massive range, obviously for a stock like this. Okay. But again, it is a Chinese name, so it tends to be a bit volatile. But surprisingly, this one is acting very tight. The price action is very reminiscent of just regular cheap U.S. equity, right? Yeah, U.S. Stock, right? So, you know, I think if we can break over 17.50 this week, there's a good chance we retest $18 again, and on this massive multi-year weekly resistance level. We can see a massive squeeze over $18, right? But I really wouldn't want to miss this one if it's able to break over this $18 level. Okay, there'll be a multi-month move, possibly back into the 20s, right? So again, KC, okay, and VIPS. You guys don't want to miss out on these two Chinese stocks. These very smaller companies in the Chinese markets are looking extremely tight and ready to finally break over and start a new uptrend, or at least start a second uptrend, as it is with the case here with KC. Okay, but yeah, Baba, no brainer here. Massive gap out today morning. Closed at the highs, closed at 4.15% return on the day. I wish I caught this one from last Friday, but again, we were looking at this for this week from the list, the Momentum Mentions list, which is again is a section of the CFO Swinger Watch Report. And again, if you guys are curious, if you guys want to become a reader of the CFO Swinger Watch Report, make sure you guys check out the description box down below. It is the second link where you guys can find more information on obviously your package options to choose to subscribe and become a reader of the CFO Swinger Watch Report. Okay. All right. So that is it for tonight, guys. Hopefully Alibaba can get to this $200 target, this max long target. And for anyone who has been holding equity for a long time as well. So good luck to you guys out there. I'll see you guys again. Just as a reminder before I log off here. The streams have changed from Mondays to Wednesdays of every single trading week, okay? And the time is still going to be 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking around, and especially for liking the stream, which again, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. So for anyone out there who is always liking these streams whenever you guys jump in to the stream to watch, thank you guys so much. I can't thank you guys so much as much as I want to through this screen, but I'm holding my hands together and saying thank you because again, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and it really pushes out these streams, my videos, to everyone out there who is not subscribed to this channel. And again, as a reminder, we are almost at 600 subs. So if you guys are watching this and if you guys thought this stream was very helpful, but most importantly applicable in the fact that it gave you guys actual trading ideas, trade ideas, tradable ideas, I guess I should say, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and on top of that, make sure you guys hit that notification bell icon, which will come up once you hit that subscribe button, so that you guys don't miss out on any uploaded videos or streams from me like this one. Okay? Yeah, Joel, 600. We're almost at 600 subs. All right? This CFO community has been growing strong and growing quickly this year. It's exactly what I like to see, and maybe by next year we might be at 1,000. All right. Okay, so I'll see you guys on Wednesday at the same time at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you guys can catch BABA or KC or VIPS or any of the other Chinese tickers out there. But yeah, good luck tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for watching.